Let's see. Lee McCarthy asks, instead of talking about the horrible tragedy in Vegas or Trump in Puerto Rico throwing paper towels, would you please just tell everyone a good story? No death, no politics, just a good story about literally anything else. Okay. I will tell you a good story that I told my beautiful wife Natasha. And yes, by the way, I think we it's not like we just suddenly got married. We actually got married back in December of last year. And I didn't mean to be lying to people. I tried not to deny it. I just tried not to say anything about it. But it was a very, very small ceremony, and we are planning to have a bigger public one, which seems to be pushed back all the time. And so, I would do shows, take the ring off, and because I didn't want to take energy away from the big ceremony. She deserves a big wedding, and she's been a photographer at hundreds of them, and she deserves that, and we just didn't get a chance to do it yet. So, in any event, I was down there at an event at TPUSA in Irvine last weekend, and it was time to take off the ring and go up on stage. And I don't want to take it off. I don't like taking it off. I never did like taking it off, and I don't want to take it off anymore. Screw it. So there you go. Again, I'm sorry to have to be misleading. Like I said, I tried very hard to make sure I never lied about it, but it certainly was annoying for me this whole time. So I think she's watching now, and she's probably reading the comments. So if you want to say hi, I think there's probably a pretty good chance you could reach her. And what this woman has done for me is indescribable, but I will say it's added 25 or 30 years to my life without question. I mean, it's just astonishing. I had no idea how unalive I was until I met her. I really had no idea just how barren my life was before she came along. It was really astonishing. I've been working late last couple days for the first time in a long time, but normally I go home, get there around 5:36, and I go outside and sit down on the back porch with my beautiful, talented, fun, crack shot wife. And we watch the sun go down, and we have little visitors that come at nighttime. Sometimes we have little possums. Sometimes we have raccoons, and it's just a little bit of paradise. I'm as happy as a boy could be. I wasn't joking about her being a crack shot, by the way. This I'll just show you one. Might as well, if I'm going to embarrass her, I might as well embarrass her. Yeah, this is a person who has shot. This was, I think, her third time out at the range. I'll go with this one. Third time on the range, and where are you, you bloody picture? And the first time with her new pistol, I bought her a 22 pistol. I don't want to hear anything about people complaining about 22s. Why don't you just come to me? Just come on. Just go right there. There it is. She shot a 9mm, and first time ever it was back in August in a little underground private shooting range, and she loved it. And so we went out and took her down to Reading, which is a great, a really, really excellent gun store down here in Culver City, and bought a Walther 22 pistol. And after that, hang on a second. After we bought it, there's that 10-day waiting period, and so come on. So we, what's the matter here? So anyway, we basically went up to the range and we rented one, and it would. This software is just the worst. It's the worst software on the face of the planet. Hang on a second. By God, I'm going to get this right if it kills me. I am just going to get it right if it kills me. Change source. No. Change audio. Yes. Come on. Change audio. Yes. Rode Podcaster. Yes. Into preview. There it is. Okay, here we go. Finally. So we went up to Oak Tree, which is a great range, and we rented a 22, which had 50,000 rounds put through it. It was just a wobbly, really pretty bad piece of work. And she was just a killer shot with it. And then her pistol arrived, I want to say Tuesday night, last Tuesday, something like that. So then we went to the LAX shooting range, and what I'm about to show you is, I think 2 or 3 magazines each at a range of, what was it? 18 yards, I think. 18 yards, something like that. Here you go. Look out. Yeah, that's, I think 3 magazines to the center of mass and 3 magazines to the head. And this is not somebody you want to make angry. This is somebody who just started shooting. She's probably shot 2,000 rounds. And so I have this unbelievably talented, beautiful wife who, drags me out to the gun range once a week. Because she just can't get enough of it. She's terrific. Has some damn good shooting, actually, and I'm just so proud of her, and she's so proud of herself, and it's just tremendous. Jonathan K says, as Iraq veteran 8888 says, a 22 will kill the crap out of you. Yeah, it will too. Yeah, it absolutely will. If you got a 22, people laugh at it because it's such a small caliber. But if somebody's out there meaning you harm, you draw that weapon, you put 35, 40 rounds into that person, they're gonna start to slow down, and that's absolutely true. But anyways, just tremendous shot. She's just a natural shot, and it's incredibly crazy to watch. Steve Darrow says, can they own firearms in Russia? And the answer is essentially almost certainly not. Very few people get them. Criminals can get them, and the rich can get them. But generally, no, they're nothing like as common as they are here. In fact, it's very exotic. Several times we go to the range and we're driving down there, and she just looks at the pistol, and says, "I just can't believe this is real. I can't believe they let you do that." I said, "Yeah, that's the difference. That's what citizens are supposed to be for. It's why we're citizens." But they don't allow you to do it in Russia. But the thing that's really profound to me is her father. And I won't get into too many details because I didn't ask for permission to do this, but Natasha's father was a policeman in Russia. He was a forensic photographer, but he disarmed people. I think he'd been shot once and stabbed once. And he was just a good man. He's just one of those good watchdog people, sheepdog people, I should say, that just are out there to protect other people. And she thinks, and I think too, that she just thinks it's in her blood. I think whatever the case may be, her father would be very, very proud of her because she is extraordinary shot. And of all the things I liked about watching her, we went out last weekend as well. I remember when seems like two events ago, like a week or 2 weeks ago. We'd have a jammed round. The 22 Walther's got a tendency to want to jam those rounds. However, it turned out that a liberal application of gun oil seems to have solved that problem. So thanks to the techs over, just the guy behind the counter at Oak Tree. In any event, I've completely forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, I remember. In any event, 2 trips ago or 3 trips ago, when you would get a jammed round, she would just hold the thing like, now what do I do? We were out there last weekend, and these rounds were jamming pretty consistently until we got some oil in there. And so it's like click, okay, drops the mag, racks it, thing comes out, mag goes in, racks it again, she's ready to go. It's just like she's been doing it her entire life. So it was very, very impressive, and I'm very proud of her. I was shooting pretty well too, I have to say, for senior citizen. Okay, let's see. Your story, Lee. Sorry I got off the track. That wasn't the story. I'll tell you a story real quick. Natasha liked this story, so I'll tell you. It's not much to it, but I thought it was fun. So I didn't get to see a whole lot of my dad because as a hotel manager, he worked during the day and during the night. He'd come back for a nap probably around 5:30, and go back, be there at 7. So one time I was down there, and I just loved to play tic-tac-toe. I was probably 6 or 7 years old, something like that. And I loved to play it, tic-tac-toe. I played it all the time. I loved it. And my dad had a friend of his come down, and the friend played me in a couple rounds of tic-tac-toe, and I beat him. And he didn't let me win, by the way. I trounced him thoroughly using advanced analytical skills. But my dad said, Billy, that's very, very impressive because James here is, in fact, the tic-tac-toe champion of Bermuda. And since you beat him, that makes you the tic-tac-toe champion of Bermuda. I was rather proud of that. I think it was the next day, might have been 2 days later. My father comes back home and has the Bermuda newspaper. And in somewhere around page 17 or something is a little box about that big saying that Billy Whittle, having defeated the former champion, is now the official tic-tac-toe champion of the island of Bermuda. And I was just so proud of it. I just wore it around with me all the time. I also told her about a story that happened to me about the same time. I don't know how to explain this other than to say that it was one of those things that you think about when you're a kid and you don't think about so much when you're older. But I had seen, I'd seen the karate chop, which was very big in the 60s. It's kind of unusual. Nobody really knew it before. It's kind of exotic. It's what Japanese people did, or in order to knock out some gigantic guy. And this big guy's about to beat him senseless, and this little guy just goes, just a karate chop to the neck, and down they would go like the Vulcan nerve pinch every single time. Karate chop to the neck, down they go, and so I had been completely fascinated by the idea of this karate chop. And I took just a regular pencil, just a regular yellow number 2 pencil, and I held onto it on the side of a desk, and I went whoo like that. And I broke the pencil. And I was so impressed by this. I was absolutely, completely impressed. Well done. Well played, Eric Blake. The question was for a story, and we got 3. Any Lord of the Rings reference is extraordinarily welcome around here. So judo chop, as Dave Big Booty points out, judo chop, karate chop. Anyway, I chopped this pencil in half, so I got another pencil and did it again. And I thought, my God, I have superpowers of some kind. I mean, it's just obviously just this karate chop thing is magic. So I went to school the next day, and I broke probably, 15 pencils, and everybody was just absolutely blown away by this. And I was blown away by it too. I was absolutely sure I was actually, flying almost. It was just incredible feeling. And then I remember some kid said, it's not such a big deal, I said, what's not such a big deal? Breaking a pencil with a karate chop, it's no big deal. And he got a pencil out and just went, and just chopped it right off like that. And that moment is just etched in my head. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, because I was as surprised as anybody. I really was. I was as surprised as anyone to find out how easy it was. And anyway, there's your story that hasn't got anything to do with anything out in the news today, Lee.